Good afternoon, team, and thanks for joining us here today. Look, I'm just going to start firstly with an acknowledgement to country. I'd like to acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we meet today and pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging, and also wanted to acknowledge any Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islanders who are joining us on this stream today. So I'm pretty excited today to have with me Jimmy from Rebalance Coach, and what a wonderful opportunity to get some tips and hints around how we could be looking after ourselves a little bit more when we're in lockdown. So how can we eat a little bit more healthier, and more importantly, how do we look after our bodies when we're all stuck in front of computer screens all day, every day, sitting on our bums mostly. So welcome, Jimmy.
Thanks, Paul. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, so I guess just quickly, Rebalance Coach, we're trying to be the bridge between movement, mindset, and nutrition. So in this day and age, how things have evolved, a lot more working from home, a lot more sitting down, and less movement. So today is all about just giving you some really quick tips and quick ideas on some healthy snacks, some healthy meals, and we'll also do some strengthening exercises and some stretches to benefit the seated posture. All right?
Awesome.
Ready to get into it?
We've got, I suppose, I know that I've been snacking more at home than I probably should, Jimmy, and normally the stuff that I have lying around maybe not necessarily the best for me. So this is some quick, easy, healthier snacks we can knock up.
Yep. The reason why I chose this recipe is there's 4 ingredients, so it's really easy for everyone, and it's also really versatile as well. So it's a cacao ball recipe. We're going to make a standard cacao ball recipe, and then I'm going to show you how to be versatile with the standard recipe, break it into 3, and then we can add some additional flavours to the other 2 balls. All right, so I might get Paul to do the honours if you like.
Right.
What we're working with here is some whole raw almonds. So we've got 1 cup of whole raw almonds.
Whole lot?
The whole lot, straight in. This is how easy it is. Half a cup of shredded coconut, straight in there. We've got 8 medjool dates. Now with the medjool dates, just make sure if you've bought the ones with pips in them, that you take the pips out. These ones are seedless, so they're going straight in.
The good thing is Turner will sell the seedless varieties in the produce department, so no need to de-seed them.
And then, beautiful, and then we've got 2 tablespoons of raw cacao powder, okay?
Which we also sell under macro.
Excellent. Full of antioxidants, which is really good in this day and age with more inflammation probably happening with devices and sitting down and less movement. So anything that's antioxidant rich is going to be good, okay?
Righto.
So we'll whack the top on there. And I might get you just to pulse that, Paul. All right. And now, all right, done. So what we'll do is we'll just have a quick look at that. Now I've done this recipe probably in excess of 100 times. And I would say that 99 times out of 100, you have to add something, okay? It might be too dry, it might be too wet. So what we're gonna do with this, it looks a little bit dry. So we're just gonna pop just a little bit of water in there. And
Is that vodka or water?
It can be vodka if you like, it depends on...
Rum would probably be better, but probably not for today.
Rum would work actually. If you've had a really good week of training and stretching and eating well, definitely rum, definitely Christmas. Rum. That's it. So we'll just blend that up again. All right, let's have a little look. Bit of fidgeting going on with this, but it'll be worth it at the end, I can guarantee you. So just massage it around with a spoon. The texture and consistency we want is something that's going to stick together without sticking to our hands. All right, so I'll get Paul to whiz that up again. All right, let's try that. Okay, that's starting to come together nice. So I might just spoon a bit of this out, just so you guys can see. So the consistency we want, if you can push that into your palm and just roll it together, it's just flaking a little bit, okay? Which means it just needs a little bit more water. Okay, so I'll just get Paul to do 1 more of that, and then we'll be good to go. All right, done. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to get rid of the blade in there. All right, Paul, time to get your hands dirty, mate. So that's looking pretty good now. So texture's good. All right, so if you just want to jam all that together into
need
one
this
ball.
again?
No, that's it, mate, done.
Get it out of the way. Right.
So massage it all into
Do I
one
need to-
ball.
Just how I'm going to get the alcohol into the balls is a bit of, no.
So just massage it all into one ball till it sticks together. So that consistency is looking pretty good now. And the beauty about this is you'll get some really good textures. There'll be some almonds that haven't quite ground in the meal. Same with the dates, so you'll get some good randomised texture. Now
Right.
what we'll do with that is just flatten it out, just roughly, and then just break it into 3, just roughly. Oh, I like it. The hand knife, very good. Okay. Now, if you can just make a bit of a pancake out of all 3. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep one of them standard. So we're just going to roll balls out of one. The other one, we've got some natural peppermint oil here, and I've pre-poured this out of the bottle for Paul so that it's nice and easy. And then it's just drizzle that over the top. It'll kind of sit on top of it. So it's all about just now massaging it through and then just binding the mix back together, okay? So I'll get Paul to hit that one. Binding it together so the oil spreads through the mix. So for those who like a choc mint flavour, this will be a really good hit.
Smells like a peppermint patty. Yum.
Okay, and then what we've got here is some diced cranberries, so just finely diced cranberries. We probably won't need all of them.
Do I need to get the peppermint oil off my hands?
That's
or
probably,
otherwise
yeah,
it's gonna,
you can, mate.
It's going to end up going through all of them?
Unless you like peppermint.
Well, I do.
And then what we'll do with that is we'll just sprinkle the cranberries on top of the third patty and again massage that in. And then what I'll get Paul to do is just to start rolling them into bite-sized balls. You can see there's pre-prepared ones here. And yeah,
more or less.
That's it. I think that's pretty good, mate. A few more.
Little pinch.
Massage it around so the cranberries spread through the mixture. And so what we've got here, we've got choc cranberry, we've got the choc mint, and just to decipher which is which flavour, I've just rolled the choc peppermint ones in shredded coconut, just so that you know which is which. And you'll know the cranberry ones because you'll see the chunks of cranberry in it. So I might get Paul to start rolling them.
Right.
And we've got a plate over there you can put them on. Now, as Paul does that, we'll move on to some other meal and snack ideas. Now, with these balls, I'll come back to them. What they'll need to be put into the freezer or the fridge. So freezer for about 20 or 30 minutes, or they can just sit in the fridge and be stored in the fridge, and then you can just eat them as you like. Serving size on those, I always get the question. It would depend. So it would depend on other factors such as movement, what you're doing through the day or not doing, but I would suggest 1 to 2 a day is probably a good start on those. All right? Okay, so what we've got here is, you can see all the pre-prepared veggies now. I just really want to focus on what's simple and what's effective today. So typically on a Sunday, this would take me around 40 minutes, is fill up the sink of fresh water and also some white vinegar. So you can put a couple of big splashes of white vinegar in the water, and then you throw all of your non-porous veggies in there to give them a good wash, okay? And the vinegar just helps to kill off any bugs or whatnot in the veggies.
Longer.
Makes it last longer. And then put it all on the bench on tea towels to dry. And typically what I'll do is I'll go away and enjoy the day, and I'll come back later in the afternoon when it's all dried, and then I just start to chop it up, okay? So, some ideas would be like carrot, snow peas, any onion, shallots, celery. We've got some flavoured, different types of capsicum, pardon me, cucumber, tomatoes, mushroom, lettuce, and cheese. I'm a fan of cheese. A little bit of cheese here and there doesn't break the bank, okay? So imagine you've got all these containers in your fridge on a Sunday night. Come Monday, when you're back at work and you're sitting down and you're solving problems and you get busy and you get distracted, you can always come to the fridge and pull these out. You can create quick salads. What I want to show you today is just some little ideas we have, just taking bread out of the equation. For some people, bread might be something that may hinder results. Paul, I don't know what you think about bread, but
Bread's really nice.
thought you might like it. Okay, so
I don't eat a lot of it. It's probably more potatoes is my carb weakness.
okay, noted. All right, and so it's literally as simple as just grabbing whatever you want, filling up these cups, and then getting a really nice dressing, which you don't even have to create. You can buy some really good dressings today from the shelf at Woolworths. They've got some great blends of olive oil infused with lemon, like this. We've got olive oil infused in garlic, onion.
Cobram was our supplier of the year.
Was it?
In long life.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
That's great. Well, they're good products. Balsamic vinegar. But what I've got today is and the recipe on this is a little bit different every time, but what's in here in this jar is an olive oil base. It's got half a teaspoon of Dijon mustard, half a teaspoon of apple cider vinegar, and a teaspoon of raw honey. And that is it. You shake it up and you just let it infuse. And that will last for a few days, but it's like a honey vinaigrette that can just go straight on top of those. And you can keep this for a few days. So, that's a lettuce cup full of nutrition. If you want to add some protein, I always recommend cooking extra protein. So when you're grilling chicken or grilling steak, I know Paul loves steak, the big red meat eater fan. So that's it. So there's your lettuce cup. Same deal with your cabbage cups. Whenever you boil eggs, I always recommend boil a few more because they come in handy when you're putting these salads together. And there's no right or wrong, just whip it on, okay? And this one we can dress differently with the lemon and olive oil, and that just makes a really nutritious snack or meal, okay? So you can that would be a nice lunch right there, okay? And then other ideas with this, what I'll typically use with this is, if there's nights where I'm a little bit time poor, I'll be thinking of things like stir fries because I can whip this out, I can get the fry pan hot, I can cook the meat, and then I can just throw in whatever veggies I need, and it just makes meal prepping so much easier in the future days after you prep. Okay, some other ideas would be if you're extremely time poor and you've got a taco kit in the cupboard, well, all you need to do is pull that kit out, cook some mince, you've got your veggies ready to go. But it's not only lunches, it's not only dinners, it's breakfast. So have a think about omelettes. You can quickly throw some mushrooms, onions, shallots in, and then get your egg mix on top of that, and then cook your omelette. Or we've got some egg cups, which I'll quickly show you how to do these because these are a really, really big hit with my members. And the beauty about these is you can put any mix in as you like. So we can might get Paul to actually do this if you like.
Just like to clean as I go here, so just...
Is thinking about things like mushrooms, onions, capsicums. Ooh. We've got some cheese there, so you mix it up how you like, Paul, but we'll just demo two, and I'll just show you how to construct them. But these are the finished products down here. So I made these yesterday. We've got some chili in there. I've actually put a little bit of spinach, some mushroom. And when these are ready to go in the oven, I generally cook them at around about 180 degrees, and it'll take anywhere between about 30 to 40 minutes, just depends on your oven, but do keep checking them. And the best way to check them is just with a toothpick, straight down the center, just wiggle it around, open it up. If any of the egg mix really comes out wet on it, just put it back in. And the trays that I love to use are these silicone trays, also purchased from Woolworths. There's relatively no stick, okay? So what you're gonna do is just crack an egg, and you're just gonna break it straight on top. Don't break the yolk, you don't need to beat the egg, but what you can do, I'll get Paul to do one more egg, is just work the egg around a little bit and just very gently break the yolk. And what you might be able to see in these, it gives a really nice texture of egg white to egg yolk in amongst the mix, and it creates some really nice flavour, all right? And you're just working the egg around to make sure that the egg gets in and under, and they should form nice little breakfast egg muffins. And not only are they good for breakfast, but they're really, really handy as a morning tea or afternoon tea grab and go. And they will last for a couple of days, stored nicely in the fridge. Okay, so that's a really, really quick rundown on that.
I feel like I should have put some cheese on one of these.
I think go for it, absolutely. And the last point I'll touch on, with healthy eating, one of the biggest habits that I get my members to work on is what we call cook once to eat twice. So anything we're cooking at home, we generally double or triple the recipe. So if it's a healthy soup or a healthy meat and 3 veg, we're cooking twice as much, 3 times as much generally, so that you've got leftovers in your fridge.
So I should cook 3 times the amount of potatoes with duck fat.
Yeah, no, that would work, and we'll just work
No?
on the portion sizes though.
Right.
Maybe.
Okay. Right.
All right. So there's a really, really quick rundown on how simple snacks, simple meals can be created just with a little bit of prep, okay? So if you can do this maybe once or twice a week, I can almost guarantee you'll set yourself up for better nutritional success. And when you're putting better nutrition in your body, you can bank on the performance being better, the energy being better. It feeds things like stress reduction, inflammation reduction. It helps things like sleep and stress and so on. So.
Cool. I imagine these would be a hit with kids as well, yeah?
Absolutely.
Like, that might be a bit hard trying to convince one of the kids to
Yes.
tuck into one of those, but
Well,
the cups.
Absolutely. And this is where, you know, bread and wraps for kids are totally fine, and you can be really versatile with it.
But even, I know you've seen before with the sort of lettuce leaves, you can actually use it as a wrap, which is actually easier for a kid than putting that in front of them. You can make a little lettuce wrap.
Yep, absolutely. All right, so there's my, I guess, just to wrap up, is the quick tips. Cook more protein when you get the opportunity. Have more leftover meat and eggs and things like that in the fridge. Have your veggies done. And if you can go away this week and practice that, I can almost guarantee you some really, really good outcomes.
I think that was a good tip, particularly I suppose washing it with a little bit of vinegar to get the shelf life in it, and then being able to do that and have it last for obviously the weeknights.
Yep.
Quick and easy, as you said, either a stir fry or whatever else, but it takes away some of the grind and probably the excuse you have for, oh, I'm really tired, it's easy, I'll just get takeaway in, or I'll just do this.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very well said. Okay, well, if there's any other questions, Paul, from you on that, if we've got any other questions, we might move on to the exercise regime.
Yeah, I think we're going to have questions at the end, so let's...
No worries.
You get to put me through my paces.
So before we head down there, obviously with you guys, the environments have changed a lot. We're working from home a lot more, potentially sitting down a lot more, less breaks. So when you think about being in an office, you're probably constantly getting up to go and see other colleagues, walking to meetings, you know, and so forth. That's changed. The landscape's changed a lot. So with these particular movements that I'm going to show you, I'm not going to make you do burpees, but they're really, really targeted to weakened areas of the body when we're in a seated position for a prolonged amount of time. So what we're going to do is we're going to target and activate the glutes. We're also going to do the core, and we're going to do the upper back. So there are three areas you can see if you're in a forward posture that weaken.
So if you're sedentary and a bit out of condition like me, you can do this.
Absolutely. Anyone can do this, and you know, if you can get down on the floor and do this 2 or 3 times in the day, not only are you activating muscles, but you're strengthening weak areas. It's going to benefit your posture, and it's actually resistance training. So you're actually ticking the strength training box without even knowing it.
Cool.
Ready to go? Do you want to roll up your sleeves, or are you good to go?
Do you want the sleeves rolled up? Do I need to untuck my shirt? That'll be a...
Okay. All right, so what we're going to do is I'm just going to talk you through a few reps, the area that we're targeting, and then we'll do a set together. So if there's anyone at home now sitting down, if you can tilt your laptop down and get onto the floor, please feel free to do this with us. All right, so what we're going to do a little bit of a flow, okay? So this is targeting the glutes and the hamstrings. The first one I'm going to do is a glute ham raise. Now it's important with this one, as you take your heel up at a 90-degree angle, is not to overarch your abs. So draw your abs in so that you're not contracting your lower back, and then it's just targeting the glute and the hamstring squeeze. So it's squeeze up. So just do 10 reps. Keep your abs nice and tight. Oh, good spine, Paul, on that. Okay, and what we'll do is the same leg, I'm just going to change legs to demo this, but stay on the same leg is going to be fire hydrant. So this one is going to be out to the side, and you're going to squeeze the top part of your hip without bending the elbow and leaning, okay? So rather than compensating, we're really going to isolate the glute muscles, and we're going to lift that knee. Now, some of you might be getting to there and cramping up, or not even quite getting there. That's okay. Persist with this, and the range of movement will increase as you get stronger through the glutes and you gain more mobility through your hips.
I get the cramp on the other side. Is that
Do
normal?
you? Potentially. We might need to balance Paul out a bit, I think.
Might have to do the other side.
Okay. Now, what you can do with this, I'm going to show you a hold, which is just that with a hold, and I just want you to try and hold it for as long as you can, just while I demonstrate this other one. So another variation is hold, and you can do a leg extension, keeping the knee as still as possible, and this will fire the glutes up even more. So you can think of that as another level of progression with that movement, and then we'll quickly go back through the other side. Okay, so we'll do 10 reps of glute ham raise on the left side, or if you're on the right, do it on the right. Then you've got fire hydrants. And the good thing is with this is you're probably feeling your heart rate already climbing. All right, and then you've got the hold on the other side. You can play around with that extension or just hold it.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, Paul. Feeling the glutes there, mate?
No, upper leg.
Upper leg. Okay, on the outside there?
Yeah,
yep.
I think I've got tight hips, I think.
Okay, so you'll get a bit of ITB as well, but glute me is where we're after. Now let's go into glute bridges. So I just want to quickly show you maybe what not to do first. So with your glute bridge, typically, like there's lots of different setups with your feet, but just as a standard bridge, get the heels in close to the backside, toes pointing out, knees apart, and then you're just pushing up through your heels, and at the top of the rep, squeeze your glutes together that way, but just brace your front abdominals a little bit. What we're not wanting to do is overextend like that and pushing up, okay? So you want to stop the bridge there. That'll engage core, that'll engage glutes, and it's just up and down from there. So bridge up. This is probably one of the best ones you can do to reverse the seated position. So if in doubt and you're a bit time poor, just go straight into bridges. Now, a couple of variations with this. These are going to be a little bit more challenging, is to bridge up, hold the bridge, and then we're going to march. So push your elbows into the ground, tuck the knee into your chest, push your leg up, straighten your leg out, and really straighten out your hamstring. So it's tuck, straighten, tuck, down. Keep holding the bridge as you do it. All right, and then we'll hold that bridge again, Paul. We're going to do one more, mate. I hope your hamstrings are okay. This
We'll find out.
This one here is a walk out and in. So what you're doing is going onto your heels, and then an inch at a time is just walking out. Now, you may want to just stop there for now and come back in. And then as you get stronger through your hamstrings and glutes, you might be able to walk out a little bit further. Okay. All right. How was that?
It's all right.
Okay, heart rate up.
A little bit.
Okay, so you should be feeling around there and glutes by now, hopefully, if you're doing this with us. Now, the next one we're going to do is for upper back. Now, this one is a scapular plank. So we're going to be in a plank position with this, but I'll just demonstrate the movement up, okay?
I don't need to do this one, do I?
Oh, yeah. It's a scapular protraction, retraction. So think about your shoulder blade, and it's retracting and protracting as you're in the plank position. So this is a joint that can get really stiff and frozen when you spend long times in that seated forward position, okay? So you go into a knee plank, Paul.
Oh,
you can do it on your...
At least it's a knee plank.
You can do a knees, you can do toes here,
No,
either
I'll
or.
do knees.
And it's just letting the shoulder blades come together and then separating them. So here's your retraction, so retract and then protract. And, you know, there might be some of you guys there sort of going, oh, I can't move it. That's okay for now. Just do your best. And as that joint gains more control and more strength, you'll be able to control it more. You'll be able to get more range. That's not bad, Paul. Good start there. Okay, prone reach out. All right, so this is lying on the ground. Tuck your chin in to progress this. So you can let your feet relax on the ground, but to progress this, you can take your feet off the ground, and it's looking down, reaching out, and then squeezing your elbows down to rib cage. Okay, that's your prone reach out. So that's really working down through your lats and also rear delt. Those two areas there that are going to help posture. Okay, Renegade Rose. So this is a nice body weight movement in a knee plank, so an upward plank. You can start there, and it's just pretending like you've got a weight in your palm, and you're just rowing back. So really focus on squeezing your upper back, like that. And then those that can, if you can hold a good upward plank and hold your hips nice and square to the ground, then you can do that from toes. All right. How's the heart rate, mate?
It's all right.
Good. I'm getting up there.
Looking forward to that beer. No, seriously.
All right. Next up, prone L raises. So the next is to tuck the chin, do a 90 degrees with your arms, like in an L shape, and then the only thing that moves here are your arms. So it's just up and down. So the elbow and the palm move at the same time, and really work on that retraction. So if you bring your elbow out a bit more, Paulie, that's it. All right, good range on that. Okay, we'll finish off with a little bit of front core.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, next is top half reverse crunch. So with this one, start with your heels in close to your backside, arms on the ground, and then it's crunching your knees into your chest. And for some of you guys, you'll be able to get your tailbone off the ground.
Yeah, just be careful with the camera angle here, please.
Okay, and just rest your head on the ground with that one. All right, next is oblique crunch. So this one is one leg in, one leg across, fingertips at the ears. All right, this is going to be a diagonal crunch. So just support the back of your head, and then it's diagonally crunching across. Okay, you're going to really feel it on both sides of your abdominals there, in your obliques. Okay, you can try a few reps that side, and then a few reps that side. Really focus on the squeeze. Try and keep your eyes up. Support your head as much as you need. All right. Whew. Okay, next we're going to finish with a plank glute squeeze. So this is in plank position. So this should really get the core going. So all you're doing is squeezing your glute and your hamstring to raise your knee just off the ground. But try and target the glute and the hamstring to actually raise the knee. All right? Try and make sure you don't let the hips drop. So keep your abs drawn in. And for some of you guys a little bit more advanced, like Paul, you can do that from your toes. Very good, mate. Okay, so not sure those at home doing that, how you feeling? My heart rate's up, yours is up, I can see. I'm definitely feeling glutes, ITB, feeling core, feeling upper back, and I do feel like I'm a little bit more open. Would you agree?
Yep.
Cool. Now what we'll do is we'll finish with a few stretches. Now, these stretches are a little bit more compound, but they're going to target multiple muscle groups in one. So wouldn't you agree that stretching, as exciting as it is boring for most, okay? So how can we do a really, really quick compound stretch to stretch multiple areas so we can get back to work? Cool? So this is a pretzel stretch. You ready for this one?
Bloody hell.
Okay, so we're going to lie down on the side. Just support your head. Now, we're going to take the bottom leg.
I can't see what's going on.
We're going to take the bottom leg around, top arm, grabbing the foot. So even if you have to do that just to grab it, and then straighten your legs back out. All right, now with this top leg, you're going to bend it, take it across your body. Then with the hand that was supporting your head, grab your knee, and then you're going to rotate away. And you will get glute, lower back, ITB. You'll get quad and hip flexor on the back side. You'll get chest on this side, and you'll also get a little bit of a neck stretch as well as you look across your body. All right, we'll just quickly demo on the other side. Just so you can see, it's a really good bang for buck stretch, this.
It's the bottom one.
So just rotate away. Some of you guys might just still be here. That's completely fine. You just work towards it. In a month, few months' time, maybe you'll get some good range, okay? That's that one. Now, next is a half kneeling position, and we can do multiple stretches from here. So even just thinking about you were just working, you can drop down straight away. You can do these things at any stage in the day as well. And what this is, it's a posterior hip tuck. So what you're doing is think about the bottom part of your hip going forward and the top part of your hip going backwards. So tilt that way. When you tilt, you should be feeling, so you'll get a hip flexor stretch. You'll even get some sort of quad stretching going on. Okay, so it's just an on-off movement like that. Don't forget when we sit like that, that being the torso, that being the thigh, is those hip flexors can tighten up, constantly tighten up. So this is a great way to get those releasing. And then what we can do is we can actually add the hamstring on this side now by just having a slightly bent knee and then hinging at the hip. Okay, so rather than just slouching, you'll lose the stretch if you do that. Think about chest proud, shoulders back, and you should pick up a really good stretch through your hamstring. Okay, you can hold them for as long as you want through the day, that's fine. And then the other one we can do is just back to that position, and we can get some rotation going just to try and loosen up that upper thoracic. All right, obviously you can change sides and do the other side. We can move on from that though. Now the last one, I'll just demo. I just want to pretend like there's a door arch there. And you can obviously stand and do this, but I'll just demo while I'm down here. Imagine the door frame's there. You got your hand against it. What you're going to do is you're going to rotate down and away. So rather than pushing against it, like you see most traditional chest stretches, it's like push against to open it up. Think about rotating away from it. All right, so, and you can pick different angles and different heights. Yeah, you should get there. You might be kind of tight on that side. So just keep your arm back as if it was pressed against the door.
Resistance against the door.
That's right. So rotating down and away will just help the fibers of the chest stretch out. And don't forget, that's one of the most commonly tight areas of our body is chest. Think about typing, driving, phone. It's all in that tight chest position. So that's a great one just there. Anytime you walk past a door frame, 30 seconds, 40 seconds. Okay? All right. That's it, Paul.
That's it. All right. Well, go back around here.
How was that, mate? You feel good?
It was good. Actually feel a bit better after that. So had a bit of a drive this morning, and it's good to open up the muscles, particularly, as you say, in here when you're sitting hunched over a keyboard every day.
Yep.
Look, I think we do have the opportunity. We had some questions from the team come through. We might throw to them. Thanks, Steph. Right, the first question is, I think, something that all of us sometimes have some issues with is, I'm having trouble sleeping. What would you recommend to relax the mind?
Yeah, great question. So relevant too in this day and age. So it depends on where the source of the issue is coming from. So sleep issues can be sourced from too much stimulation, and that's through the form of devices, which, you know, if you're on a computer for most of the day, think about what's happening outside of that. Is there lots of TV watching? Is there lots of phone device watching? So it could be overstimulation. So what I would suggest is to, rather than have to go cold turkey, which we don't want, we want you to be able to watch your shows. We need you to be able to be on your laptops and your phones, but try and break it up. Try and insert breaks through the day. One of the best ways to do that is just doing what we just did then. So you can drop down and do 3 strength exercises and a stretch, and then get back to it. Even better is doing that outside in sunlight and fresh air.
That probably goes to the next question, which is, how vital is getting sunlight throughout the day? Is it just a myth?
Yeah, no, it's actually a lot of science behind this. So think about if you're boxed in 4 walls in artificial light and blue light stimulation from your devices, and you're not seeing outside, there could be a very mismanaged balance between your vitamin D exposure and then melatonin production. So melatonin is the body's sleep hormone. It helps us wind down and get ready to turn off and sleep. Now, if there's too much stimulation and too much stress in the day, then the cortisol hormone, which is our stress response hormone, doesn't taper away like it should. So you've got to think, if cortisol, which is stress reduction, outside melatonin production, it's going to set you up better for sleep. So sunlight is a big one.
Okay. This is not a question, but a big thanks for the posture techniques. So there you
Awesome,
go, struck a chord.
Good, good.
Should I be getting 10,000 steps in a day?
Yeah, good question. I think they're actually reviewing this as we speak, okay? So the short answer with this is it depends. And what I tend to advise my clients on is, yes, 10,000 has been the recommended, but maybe what age category you're in, okay? So, I mean, if you're 60, 70 years of age, 10,000 is probably not, like the target. But if you're maybe 10 to 20, 20 to 30 in that category, maybe it is. So I wish I could give you an exact answer, but my best advice with steps is track them, see how many you're doing, see what it feels like to do those steps. And if you're nowhere near what you think you should be, then it's just incrementally giving yourself a daily target. It might be 250 more steps, 500 more steps, and just practice that for a week or two, get that into your lifestyle, and then your step count will grow. You won't necessarily need to be sort of worrying too much about a number target. It'll just be a lifestyle thing that'll be happening better for you.
But probably easier to get the numbers up after you've been doing some stretching exercises that sort of frees up.
Absolutely.
Yep.
You're going to be way more motivated, guys, if you can get down and just do little bits of movement here and there. Way more motivated to go out for walks and things like that.
I think someone submitted the next question on my behalf.
Okay.
It is so hard to satisfy cravings eating a small portion. What's the best way to control our mind to stop overeating when stressed especially?
Okay, yeah, good question. I mean, there's so many rabbit holes we can go down with this, but one of the things I do get my members to work on is to slow down eating. So one of the biggest outcomes in terms of cravings is that we eat too fast. Now, what happens when we eat too quick? We're not giving our I'm full hormone a chance to really play its part. We're just eating too quick. Chances are we can overeat. If we're getting cravings, particularly later in the day, if we have eaten too quick, then the ghrelin hormone, which is that's the hormone that tells us we're full and we're okay, that can be suppressed a little bit. So we're getting mixed signals, and our brain's telling us that we're hungry and we're not. Then it could be a stress thing. There could just be way too much stress happening in the day, and we could be under-eating and then overeating later as a result. So my quick advice on that, without going down too many rabbit holes, is make sure you're eating regularly, make sure you're eating nice, nutritious, anti-inflammatory foods, and make sure you're getting plenty of water in, and just try your best to practice that, because sometimes it's the cravings that are coming as a result of stress or, inability to get quality sleep, for example.
Okay. I suppose this is a sort of general thing. We went through stuff a bit. How can we change things up a bit so we don't feel like it's Groundhog Day every day?
Yeah, great question, especially for those in lockdown. So I think what I tend to advise my members is having some non-negotiables. And actually there's a slide, if we can bring it up, which I love talking to my members about, which is the 5 S's. And the 5 S's from a Rebalance perspective are stress management, sleep quality. We've got sustenance. That includes, what type of food you're having, the frequency you're eating, the amount you're eating, plus hydration. And you've also got strength training and also steps and sunlight. I build that into one because steps can be better done in sunlight, and you get the best of both worlds. You get that good melatonin production, you get stress reduction away from devices. So I think going through those, I think it probably will answer, a lot of people's questions if they do have in response to that. But I think it all comes back to stress management mostly, okay? In which, the day just could drag on. You're solving problems constantly, and so reducing inflammation is the best way to go.
Okay. The rest of the questions here are more around, can I get the quantities for the cacao and the balls? Can the recipes be sent out? Please share the recipes. Is there going to be a replay on the live stream? Do we have a substitute ingredient for the nuts in the cacao ball recipe for those with nut allergens? So
yep.
The intent is to make sure that all this material is put up on Google Currents. So you'll have all of the recipes, all of the stretches, all of the exercises, and also the ability to replay this. We probably just make sure with the cacao ball recipes, there's a nut-free version
yep.
For people who have a nut allergy
yep.
when we put that up there. But obviously a lot of people asking those questions. So obviously you've stuck a bit of a chord there. I think,
yep.
Jimmy, one of the things we've been talking about with the team is that it's okay to manage your time in the day. And often we book a meeting for an hour because that's what the system does.
Yep.
And so really challenging whether you need to have that meeting for an hour. If you could do it in half an hour, that's great. But if you can do it in 45 minutes, but keep the hour blocks, it actually creates 15-minute breaks. And I think you saw today some of the things you could easily do in that 15 minutes between meetings. Get up off your bum, do some of those stretches, do some of those activities that don't take very long at all, and you can intersperse those throughout the day and it will make a world of difference. I know some of the other teams are doing walking meetings, trying to get the steps and the sunlight and meeting at the same time. So I know the Everyday Needs team under James is a big thing. They're doing most of their one-on-ones with their team. If they don't need to present something, just get on the phone and go for a walk.
Absolutely.
Do it in the sun. So just trying to break it up. It's okay to push back a little bit on meetings that are back to back to back. And as I said, if someone's booked an hour meeting, you can respectfully turn around and say, look, I can come, but I'm only available for 45 minutes. And most often, the agenda can be accommodated to get to the key things that need to be discussed or managed in that 45 minutes, in my experience. So that's great. Look, Jimmy, thank you so much for coming today. As we said, we're going to make all the content available. I believe also you do run a coaching program for people through Rebalance. And I think you've got some things you're going to make available to the team as well.
Yeah, definitely. So part of those resources, you'll get a snack recipe pack. So these are 20 snacks that can be prepped in under 20 minutes. Some of them actually only take 4, 5, 6 minutes. So you'll get that. You'll also get a Woolworths specific supermarket-based meals and snacks document, which if you're time poor, you can go into your local Woolworths store, you can do your click and collect or your online ordering, and you can purchase stuff that you can store in your fridge or pantry that you can just grab and go. And it's already been pre-selected as something that's really nutritiously balanced and probably in line with people that have weight loss considerations, better energy, better performance, those types of things. And then also I've got a 7-day Healthy Habits Kickstart program available to you all. That's going to incorporate all those 5 S's in a daily checklist. There's a sample meal plan, grocery shopping list and recipes, and it'll get you going for a good week, and it'll get you steps, your sunlight, your stress management, your sleep, your strength training, all in one program, really easy to follow.
And some people might want some more help.
Yeah, so if you reach out to me on Instagram, my Instagram handle is rebalance.coach. So make sure you go over and follow me. There's plenty of recipes, plenty of helpful hints coming out. There's already heaps of content already there, so have a scroll through. It's all designed to help people just bridge the gap between the nutrition, the mindset, the movement and the lifestyle, and just create better habits so that they can fulfill their outcomes, whether that be body composition, weight loss, better energy, live longer, live better.
And you do run tailored programs for individuals if anyone wanted to contact you about signing up to get some help, because
that's
they've
correct.
got a bit of a push along.
Yep.
Probably I've been promising for ages to get Jimmy back to help me with personal training, which I need to sort out as you keep reminding me. So I think that brings us to a close in terms of today's session. Again, Jimmy, I just wanted to thank you for taking the time out to come and share some of these great tips with the team. I hope you all got something out of this. Again, if you know some of your colleagues that have missed this, if you let them know that all the information is going to be posted onto our Google Currents community, and so you can rewatch this, and obviously those materials we spoke about will be made available there. And of course, Jimmy is on Instagram, rebalance.coach. There you go. All right, thanks team.